Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of the Season 8 final season premiere of the Vampire Diaries on the CW, which is called Hello Brother. And yeah, welcome back guys. My first Vampire Diaries review since the end of Season 7 last year. I thought Season 7 was an okay season. It wasn't terrible, but definitely didn't measure up to what we got previously. But I'm still gonna watch this last season, because I have invested a lot of time into the show, a lot of care. So I'm definitely willing to watch it and see it through to the end. Especially looking forward to the last couple episodes to see, the end game of everything and such. And I thought this, it's only going to be 16 episodes this year, I think, which I'm fine with. I'm glad it's going to be at least a slightly more condensed story this time around, a little bit more focused perhaps, so I think it's appropriate for the last season. But this episode, of course, I'll mention the title right away. Hello Brother, of course, that's a line from Season 1, the first line on screen between, Damon and Stefan. And that's what all the episode titles are supposed to be, like quotes or lines or, phrases from Season 1, which I think is, kind of a nice little, nod and tie back to the early days. And overall, I like this episode quite a bit, actually. I would even say I probably enjoyed it more than the Season 7 finale. It did a good job of setting up our final big bad of the series, as well as, of course, checking in with all of our characters, seeing where they're all at. And, it did get me in the feels at a couple certain points, And we got a good look at what's going on with both Damon and Enzo as they're being controlled with this mysterious, monster. I did do a video on, the actress who was cast as her, a couple months ago or something, I think. We'll talk more about her towards the end of the review. I am going to review every episode this season. It's the least I can do for the last season. So you can look forward to that every week. I don't know if it's not always going to be out on time. Like last night, I just got home from Grand Rapids Comic Con, so I couldn't do it right away. But you can guarantee that my review will always be out on that weekend at some point. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the actual video, shall we? Of course, at the beginning of the episode, we see Damon and Enzo. They stop this couple on the road. And, it's very reminiscent of how Damon was, earlier on in the show, a little bit more of the conniving, sort of a sinister, character. And I know Ian Somerhalder, in a way, probably likes going back to playing Damon this type of way. Because it seemed like he always enjoyed, the more villainous sides to him a little bit more, or he at least didn't want Damon to become as emotional as he eventually did. Yeah, I think it was a good development for the character, but of course in certain instances, it's better for Damon to be a little bit more anti-hero-esque, at least. But yeah, I did like this, older feel to Damon here, and of course we have both him and Enzo working together to, just creep this couple out as they're driving down the road. They get them to, of course they hit one of them, and, then they go to check on them, and that's when they take these two. Well, it's not just to feed on them and, just binge or whatever. It's to actually take them to this, monster that they're serving. I did sort of like the dialogue between the couple when they're driving, though, because, they're going to a superhero movie, apparently. And the girl's saying, oh, there's too many of those now, they're getting so old. And then the guy sort of counters that, saying, I'm tired of all these, YA young adult, dystopian novels and, being brought to the screen and such. So that was kind of good, back and forth and how things are sort of getting now. And then they actually manipulate them and, of course, use their compulsion to figure out who the worst of them actually is. We find out the girl, she stole makeup or something like that, but then she also, slept with her best friend's boyfriend or something about 8 times. But then the guy, we find out that he actually sold medicine that an older relative of his was using while she is fighting cancer, and sold it for money. So that he definitely won that draw. And then they quickly kill a girl, and then they feed the guy to this monster, the armory monster that they're serving. And it seems like Enzo and Damon are still very much clueless to what this thing actually is. They just know they have to do this. They're very mundane and sort of procedural with how they go about this because they've been doing it for a while. Of course, then we have Stefan and Caroline sleeping together. I don't know. I love Stefan, but Caroline, I could do without about like I don't know how many seasons ago. But they're looking for clues, and Caroline seems to be a little bit jealous of Lark's new nanny. Because she basically thinks the nanny's gonna move in on Rick or something like that. But why would she be jealous? Oh, but another love triangle, great. But no, it doesn't really turn into so much of that. And Alaric, he's still looking into the armory, past the closed off door that was there. He's having certain people look into it, sort of saying like it's just that's excavation, type of thing, just for the Indiana Jones sake of it, really. But Alaric, he's sort of at a different point as well, because he's not wanting to get out into the field looking for Enzo and Damon as much, because he doesn't want to put himself like directly at risk as much anymore. Because he wants to be there for his kids. He doesn't want to give them the chance to grow up without a father or something. And then one of his students, or one of his I don't know, I forget what they're called, assistants or students or whatever they are, but she's played by the actress who played Mindy on Drake and Josh, which was one of my favorite shows growing up. So it's kind of funny to see her on here. And Bonnie, she's at a very low point. She's losing hope, and Stefan sort of gives her a good little speech here, saying how he hasn't seen anyone fight longer or harder than she has. Not Elena, not Caroline. And so he kind of uses that to motivate her, and also he says if she just lets go and gives up completely, then he has a lot less to go on, and it's gonna just drive him down too. So he needs Bonnie to keep her up as long as she can, which I thought was a pretty good scene. And it sort of leads to another moment like that towards the end of the episode. The nanny, she ends up getting attacked and her throat cut by, I forget the girl's name, but she's the one who had knowledge last season of what was in the armory. She is apparently she was connected to the whole Enzo and the girl who was running the armory thing. I don't remember everything about her, I'm just gonna be honest. But she attacks the nanny. Caroline shows up because she's on the phone with her. She knocks her out, and then she's able to heal the nanny before she completely dies. So that was good. And apparently Mindy from Drake and Josh is playing a girl called Georgie, by the way. And she sort of weirdly hits on Alaric, sort of makes a move on him in the dark tunnel, but he says he doesn't really have room for that in his life anymore. And then Stefan, he is finally able to find Damon after he and Bonnie, see the clues at a certain crime scene, bodies, which is more than they've had to go on for a while. It seems like Damon and Enzo's whole process here is, to find the worst of the worst. So chances are they start off kind of strong, not leaving any bodies behind, or anything behind, because, they had found so much, but now they're getting more desperate. They're not finding as many worthy, people here to feed her, to feed to her. And we found out later that Enzo actually has more of a shred left of himself than Damon does at this point, at least more up front anyway. And Enzo is actually able to leave some clues for Bonnie, some very subtle clues that only she would really connect to. With their time they spent together in the cabin and such, through this Odysseus Greek story he had told Bonnie, with the wax in the ears and such, and then the books and stuff, they do help with that. So they're able to find where Enzo and Damon have been conducting their business. Basically this slaughterhouse type of thing. And of course Stefan finds Damon. We get that hello brother line with that smirk, and he talks about the hell has control over him. He's never seen anything like it, basically. And Stefan of course notices his humanity has been turned off as well, and Stefan says he can help him, and Damon knows he can, but he doesn't want that right now, or so he says. And he just wants Stefan to leave with his hero hair still intact. And because apparently this monster doesn't want Stefan yet, because she's probably gonna go after him as a further along in her plan or agenda or whatever it is. Then we get Bonnie showing up, and Damon and Enzo both just get a hold of her after Stefan tries to go after Damon. And then we get a little bit more push on Stefan here, because of course Damon, being in this automatic darker place, he says things like, "My life's been over for a century and a half, brother, because of you." Of course, connecting back to when they first turned into vampires and such. And Stefan and Bonnie are, they just agreed to leave and walk away after that. And this is when Bonnie points out the guitar strings that, the marks on the neck, that, wasn't just like a wire or anything, so as a clue that Enzo had left. And, Stefan, he's beginning to lose hope, just hit hard by what Damon said to him, even if he knows it's not fully Damon coming out there, still to hear that, of course, would affect him psychologically. Bonnie sort of uses what Stefan said to her earlier, and, just sort of try to bring him up a little bit to find his sense of hope again, and, pull on that and keep going. And then we have, Damon and Enzo also find this painter who actually used someone's blood to make his artwork. So I take him in, and Stefan, he was supposed to find his hope, right? So he's actually writing to Elena, because Bonnie's been doing that lately, not Caroline, but now Stefan's writing to her again. So Stefan still looks to Elena for more hope and supports than Caroline. So that kind of tells you something too, I think. But of course, Elena's someone who hasn't been around for a long time, of course, but she was still a source of that for just pretty much every character on the show. So it does make sense. And, we also get Alaric and Caroline throughout the episode. Alaric, he just wants Caroline to be happy. He knows that Caroline hasn't moved on to Stefan yet, to spare his feelings that, she's thinking about. Alaric just encourages her to do it anyway, it's alright. And he needs to be closer to his kids, where she needs to kind of get out there and just live her life, just do what she actually wants to do and makes her happy personally. So of course, I guess Caroline's moving in with Stefan. And Stefan, like I said, he's writing to Elena, in the journal, the diary, and he's saying, he hopes there's still a sliver of light in Damon that can, be found and used. And there is, because we see Damon as him and Enzo are driving along the road. We see that he's actually dreaming of first meeting Elena, so it brought back the feels to see that again. So I have a feeling when hopefully Nina Dobrev shows up in the final episode, it's gonna be great, because I already got hit in the feels a little bit here, I'll admit. So that was kind of touching. And then Enzo had also left Bonnie other clues to point as to what this creature actually is, and it turns out this could be a siren from some mythology and such, which which has been touched on in other shows like Supernatural and such. So that was kind of a cool, little, I don't know. But it turns out this person might be a siren, and we hear this singing, and once they feed this guy, she actually comes up out of the blood and the water and such. Of course, played by the actress I mentioned in my video months ago. And we haven't heard her name yet. I think it was going to be Sybil or something like that. But we see her come out, just, blood all over her body and such. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's mainly what happened in the episode. I'm sure there's little things I didn't mention. You can, comment below about any of that, and I'll give you more of my thoughts on them. But overall, I thought this is a good start to the season. It's still not, incredible, but I think it set the tone a little bit better than, say, the season 7 finale did. I think it's setting a stage for what should hopefully be a solid final season of the show. And, we're getting little flickers of, that end game I've been wanting. So I think I still have faith that TBD, Julie Plec, the writers and the crew and the cast and everything are going to give us a pretty satisfying ending, so I am looking forward to it. This is a pretty good start. I'm going to give it about an 8.4 out of 10. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later for my Van Helsing review, my Z Nation review tomorrow afternoon, and of course my review of the Season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead Sunday night. So I'll catch you guys for that later, and peace.